Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats. Talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. Get some weed and now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome in to Fire and Bloom, a House of the Dragon podcast by us, the Penny Bloom Podcast. Today, we cover the penultimate episode of Season 2 of House of the Dragon. It was titled The Red Sowing. It was written by David Hancock and directed by Lonnie Perister. I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. It's a writing name that's semi-familiar and a direction name that I don't think we've ever had before, which is, it felt newer, it felt fresh. There was a certain flair this had that I don't think a lot of other episodes have had. And I dug it. How'd you feel about the penultimate episode of Season 2?
Yeah, it did feel a little different. Now, knowing that it is kind of this first-time direction, maybe that's why. But no, this felt like a penultimate episode. This felt, honestly, partially felt like a season finale at points. I was like, man, I'm kind of honestly satisfied in some areas. Like I obviously want to know what happens next, but it felt like, man, I mean, this is like an ultimate kind of standoff here at the end, and it just felt very satisfying for where we've come for the season. And we still got, I guess, a couple things to tie up here at the end, but for a penultimate, I think it's always the episode where you expect the heat to come in Thrones. They're always notorious for giving you something in the penultimate, and I think we got it. I don't know. I
would say so.
Yeah, I think we got the juice. So I'm very.
Yeah, but one of the more asinine things I've been seeing online, Season 2 is not getting the reception Season 1 did from general fandom. Quote, unquote, nothing has happened. If you feel that way, you need to be watching other shows.
Do they mean like nothing has happened in the span of like the book? Nothing has, like not much time has progressed?
I don't think so.
Or
I think they mean literally within the show, nothing has happened.
I'd say Daemon, there might be an argument there, maybe. But that's leading somewhere, and then this episode gave it the juice. And so, but as far as every other, like Team Black and Team Green, we've gone some pretty crazy routes. Like it's all just slow war politicking. Like we're in active war, and we're getting all of the intercuts of it. Like I feel like this is like kind of prime era for Thrones to not.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Like
that's how I feel. That's why I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're looking for here. I saw a complaint that was like, why did like Corlys and Rhaenys' relationship was so meaningful in the book? Why hasn't Corlys mourned her at all? I'm like, there was an entire episode they spent mourning Rhaenys. What are you talking about? What show are you watching? So like that's kind of my thing, is that I think people want things to happen in a different way than they are happening, but they are happening. I don't know. I don't know. So it is what it is.
Interesting take. No, yeah, I'm feeling the opposite way though.
I feel like this is every bit as good as Season 1. Maybe one thing that has, like, there's been one standout filmmaking wise in Season 2. Other than that side of things has been a little underwhelming. Just kind of par. I wouldn't say it's below average, but just kind of right down the middle. That's one thing I'd say Season 1 probably had up on this, is that I was pretty consistently like,
damn.
It did look good.
This is a good looking episode. And I feel like, and maybe I'm just growing used to it. There are some shots in this one that are good, but beyond, like, it's the same thing as every other week so far, where I'm like, there's some good shots that stand out, but
yeah, the in between it's okay, and
yeah, it's fine, it's solid. It's not like it's bad. It just is, like, and that's kind of how it's been so far this season on the filmmaking side of things. I think the story's been wonderful. So if you're ready, I can take us on into our scene by scene, location by location breakdown, and we'll start in Harrenhal, where Damon sits in shambles when Lord Oscar Tully arrives. He treats with the new Lord Paramount of the Riverlands, who he had so snidely dismissed episodes ago, when he was no help then, but he can be of help now. And he calls upon Oscar to raise a host. Oscar poses his fears for his River Lord's loyalty, as they will not take kindly to Damon's barbarities. He says, however, that his house swore an oath to serve Queen Rhaenyra under King Viserys, and they will uphold it. But it will take some convincing. He is green, and Daemon is hated. And Daemon says he does not need their love, but their swords.
Each. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oscar,
sorry about that cough, by the way.
Yeah, no, all good. But Oscar giving him the oh, okay. We had our fears about you, but now you've laid them out on the table. Like we I know who you are, man. And crazy. I mean, this dude. Like, I guess this is how it goes back in the day. You could just be this young and get a seat of power, but it is cool to see. Just, I don't know, he did not matter, and he seemed like this wimpy kind of whatever kid, kind of scared of Daemon before.
And now in an 8-episode season, he's taking one of my favorite character slots.
Ooh, okay. Wow.
I did not think was going to happen. No, Oscar Tully is like easily my favorite character this week.
Okay.
There wasn't anybody who I even had a second thought about. I was like, no, but it's Oscar Tully. Don't get me wrong. There are other choices that I would be okay with, but like, it became clear to me, because this was before halfway through the episode that all of his scenes were done. I was like, it's him. And then like nothing happened the rest of the episode for me to be like, never mind. Yeah, no, I loved the way he treated Daemon. It was about time somebody did this, because he really does hold all the cards, Yes, Daemon has a dragon, but the reason he's at Harrenhal is because that can't win him everything. Like, yes, it's good he has a dragon, but what he really wants and what he really needs is a fucking army. So, and Oscar's like, I'm the one who can get that for you, you play along with me and we might go somewhere. So I appreciated that Oscar was, outsmarting him at essentially every turn. And I love that this first interaction poses Daemon as still lording over his head. But then the River Lords arrive. And Oscar and Daemon greet them by the weirwood tree. And Oscar thanks the Lords for answering his call and wishes to distinguish himself from, but also live up to, his grandsire's memory. And Daemon calls upon them then that Lord Oscar upholds tradition, swear fealty to him, answer his call as his bannermen, and therein kneel before me, your king. The lords pose their concerns. All fingers point to the evils performed by Lord Blackwood, who defends himself by presenting the traitors. He's like, they swore fealty to the traitors, king, so, I've done my duty. I've done what I need to. Don't worry about me. Daemon, Lord Tully then does distinguish himself. He's like, all right, yeah, I got no love for Daemon. In fact, I hate this motherfucker. Okay? This guy is a piece of shit. He does not deserve our honor. He does not deserve our loyalty. However, we do have honor. We will uphold the oath sworn by my grandsire. And Daemon asks, be careful, lad. It reminded me of the Tywin Arya scene in at Harrenhal, actually, funny enough. Whenever Arya's kind of like clapping back at him a little bit too hard, she's getting a little more familiar with him, and she's, and he goes, "Careful, boy. I like you, but be careful." There's except Daemon's got a little bit more of like I might cut your head off at any given moment vibe than Tywin.
Very fearful for Oscar's life. A lot of shots, they just had like a perfect beheading angle at certain points, and I was like, no.
Right.
I'm like, we're not killing the kid, right? You know, like this is a complete opposite on Ollie. Like reminded me of the actor Ollie. Like weirdly, like I think they just kind of look like brothers, like they could be in real life, but complete opposite feelings. I do not want Oscar to die.
I love Oscar Tully, man. I think that this kid's a real one, and I thought that he was, you know, he displayed a great deal of courage facing off with Damon a few episodes ago. You know, obviously he was never. Then, like he says, you were of no use of me. You were no use to me. So, like, it is what it is. But yeah, the actor's name is Archie Barnes.
Archie Barnes.
I like Archie Barnes. 2 episodes, season 2, episode 4, season 2, episode 7. He's made his presence felt.
Boom.
Love me some Archie Barnes.
The River Lord. That's just
the River Lord. That's hard. That's hard.
Or was it the River Lord Paramount or the Paramount?
He's the Lord. He's the Lord Paramount of the Riverlands. They are all River Lords.
Oh, okay. So you could call him the.
But like. He is the River Lord. Yeah, like that does fly.
It just all kind of goes hard. This meeting just went hard. I mean,
it's an incredible. It's obviously not the most exciting scene, and there is another scene I will go with later for my favorite. I do think this is the best scene in the episode, though.
I mean, I went with it because my other favorites give nods to those other scenes. So like, I was either going to go.
That's why I went with him for my character. I was like, that's enough. That's enough of a way to show this love because, goddamn, I love him in this. He is gagging Damon left and right. I love that. Damon permits him to continue after Oscar approaches him, walks up to him, and he's like, "Do you want my army or not?" Kind like a little bit of a threat, but also like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, like. Go with me here and you'll get your fucking army, you know? Like it's he's like, I'm not actually trying to get on your bad side, but I need to show strength. I need to show what I'm capable of.
Dude's like, I mean, this
he's
was
a good
crazy
lord.
Sequence, and seeing all of the River Lords around him, like they were ready. Like one dude was he about pulled his sword out, but then
they
saw
were ready to
Oscar,
fight Damon.
Yeah, they saw Oscar walk up, and they were like, oh, they were like. Okay.
Because the whole they're like the one lord who's like, why should we listen to you? You're younger than my own sons. You don't know shit. What's the deal? And like, so he knows. I love the way he handles everything too. Like he's handling himself not nervously. Like even like Blackwood in season 1, whenever he stands before Rhaenyra. And he's like, my queen, so like, I thought it's a funny contrast between a character he literally has killed in this scene also, which is interesting. But,
wow.
He does nothing and smiles, but he does say that the Lord Oscar is bold, but perhaps not wrong. He was a touch enthusiastic in his pursuits, and he asked that they don't let his failings keep them from following an honorable young man. The way he kind of says it, he's like annoyed. He's like, God damn it, I can't believe I have to observe this nicety. I'm a fucking dragon lord. I should be able to kill all these motherfuckers and be fine. But no. But the Lord Malister stands and asks for justice. Their eyes again turn to Blackwood. He lays his sword at Tully's feet and kneels, and Oscar accepts his fealty. But justice will be dealt. He didn't do the crimes because Damon said so, and Damon did say so. Perhaps he didn't make his intentions clear. I like the way he kind of puts that. He's like, and while he may have said that, you didn't need to do it. You didn't do that because Damon said so. You did that because you wanted to. And everyone's like, yeah, kill him.
He's like, the Lord speaks the truth. They're like, yep, we're on his side. For
bro
sure,
spitting,
dude.
Bro spitting facts.
Yeah. And hard delivery here of just
dude.
Like, what a way to say, like, behead this man. Like instead of like Joffrey just being like, bring me his head, or like, made the dude was like, no, dispense justice, or I forgot what the final lines were, but even everything leading up to it was just like, okay.
Well, and the way he's like, if our lord, if our king wants to prove himself worthy of our honor, he will dispense justice.
Oh, it's like the first kill that he actually doesn't want to do, but has to do. It's
Yeah, like there's no two ways around it. He's like, I'm fucked. I'm backed into a corner. This kid just sunned me. Now I have to kill a guy who I've had a bizarre sexual tension with.
And everyone knows that like Damon obviously wanted this act to happen too. That's why like they're like his reasoning for like Damon told you to do it, yes, but you still did it because you wanted to. It's like, well, Damon still, you know, gave the like Damon still is given this order, I guess. So like it all of this kind of feels like a I don't want to say purposeful, but like Damon is just being like completely, he has no claim now, like whatsoever. Like everything kingly about him is like you just wouldn't trust this man as a king. Like he's just done everything wrong, and it feels that like they're showing in every situation that it's like it's not going right in his way, and I don't know like how to read Strong's reaction here and all of these weird like noises. Like there's some like whenever Damon
The sound starts drowning out and stuff. Yeah.
and could just be he's entering like a a mode where he's like, fuck, really, I'm here, holy shit, and it's just his mind kind of spinning.
Yeah. I will say, if one is still holding on to the idea that Lord Strong knows more than he lets on, I can see how his reactions are hard to read. If he's still a bumbling fool who's afraid of Damon, his reactions make perfect sense.
He just knows, like, oh,
he
fuck.
keeps
He's
like Lord Oscar Tully keeps approaching him, and they keep showing him be like, fuck,
yeah,
you're about to kill the Lord of the Riverlands in my house.
Okay,
This guy runs the area, and you are about to kill him while I am giving you shelter. I'd prefer if you didn't do that.
I see. Okay. Yeah, because the
That's
first
kind of how
one
I take it.
was the one that I kind of the second one where it's like, oh, he literally is about to kill this man and he knows that. That one's pretty one to one. But the first one, I didn't quite put that like in my own house. Don't kill the kid, because it felt like Oscar at least was like, you've embarrassed yourself while you've been here at Harrenhal. Like I forgot what word he used, but it was like during your
his comportment.
And then Damon specifically gives Lord Strong, the look. And Lord
kind
Strong,
of like I took that to be like, you hear this fucking kid? And Lord Strong being like, don't. Like kind of like it's fine, don't worry about it. Like that's kind of how I took it. Like almost like he's looking to Lord Strong to see
if it's true.
If he's hearing what he's hearing, kind of like have I embarrassed myself in my comportment here? And I feel like he can look at Lord Strong and kind of see in that moment that the kid is being truthful, like he is saying what everyone else thinks. It's just that he's scared strong enough into obedience, like one-on-one. He's held a knife at his throat and put a knife in his mouth and like all sorts of stuff. So like there's a reason Lord Strong has sworn his fealty to Damon in a much more direct way than the rest of the River Lords will.
It's true. Dude had the literal force of Damon in his castle. I guess I was thinking more of like Damon feels that it's his fault somehow. Like it can't be Damon's, he can't have done anything wrong. It has to have been the Strongs making him look bad, and that's he's giving him the look of like, oh, you're my host, how are you making me look so bad? But dude he's currently in the phase of realizing all of his wrongs. And I think like we're seeing all of those stages kind of, and he like this, I guess we're getting there. I don't want to jump the gun on the.
No, yeah. I mean, like his task is ultimately, I think no matter what, he realizes, he recognizes what he's done for what it is. It's a matter of deciding then if it's enough to get him to back down or if it's enough for him to double down and go, well, I'm already too far gone. Fuck it.
I see.
You know, and I think that's the problem now. But anyway, Blackwood begs for his life. You know, I only served my king. Don't do this, your grace. Don't do this. And Daemon removes his sword and deftly removes Blackwood's head.
Mm-hmm.
And then after removing his head, Daemon runs into a shadowed goat in the halls of Harrenhal. Always an Anonymous sighting.
Mm-hmm.
For those who have seen Longlegs, we got a nice little look at Mr. Downstairs here.
Interesting. I have no idea what this means. It doesn't seem
it'd be
fun.
like if you were like looking at yourself in the camera right now, there were like flashes in the movie where like your lamp back there, like in that corner, like a goat man would just like be standing there, and then he'd disappear.
No,
Yeah.
That's creepy. I see how. Okay,
Yeah.
that'd be creepy.
It's creepy, you know,
Right.
and it's always slow enough to where it's not like a jump scare. It's more like it's not like we don't want you to see it coming. It's more like you're looking for it in every single fucking frame, kind of. Like we want you to know there's an ominous entity about.
That's awesome.
But that's immediately what the shadowed goat reminded me of, and he heads to his room where he finds his brother sitting upon his bed. He holds the crown in his hand and opines to his brother how he never wanted it. The crown crushes those that wear it. And he says that Daemon always did want it, and asks if he still does. Daemon stares at the crown in his hand.
Good shot. You know, I'd say the only two good shots that were memorable from this is like them walking out to the weirwood tree was really, really nice, and then this focus pull from Daemon's face to the crown at the end was pretty nice, and I hope this reaction from Daemon, like, I do see how it could be doubling down. I'm much more on the fence of him realizing he shouldn't. Like the crown is just not for him. And
that's what's interesting, is I feel like no matter what, I do think he'll come to the correct conclusions. I think he will recognize what he's done is wrong. I think he'll know exactly what he should do. I don't know if he will act on those things. That's where my holdup is. Like, I agree. I 100% think that he is arriving at the correct conclusions. That, yes, what I've done is wrong. I'm a bad person. Everything, like, I just fear that, like, he's dedicated his life to something at this point, and he won't stop just because his conscience tells him to.
Yeah, and I guess there's maybe the option, like, because I wanted him to kind of rejoin Team Black if he is good, but then I don't even know if I truly want that. Like, maybe the best option is for him to realize that, like, he should just go to, like, Essos or some shit. I don't know, just, like, fly away. Go to Valyria. You like your history, you like your studying, you know, go try to learn something in all the rubble.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
But
it'd be nice if he headed to Pentos and, like, hung out with his kids.
They are in Pentos.
You know, they're heading for Pentos anyway.
Is that...
as of this episode?
Okay, that's. Oh, that is. Did they say that's?
Last episode, they said that they are going to be able to send them off to Pentos, and this week they're in carts heading away from the Vale.
That's what I meant. For some reason, I'm like, what the fuck? Are they kicking them out? Like, I missed that. I was like, I didn't remember what happened last week there at the Vale.
Yeah,
and I was a little confused.
They're getting sent to Pentos.
Okay. Cleared that up.
But that's actually where we're at next, is the Vale. But
perfect. But
yeah, I'm. There are a lot of things I would like to happen with Daemon, and all I know is that the thing I want to happen the least is probably what's going to happen with Daemon. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of how I treat Game of Thrones in this show, is that, like, okay, what's the worst thing that could happen? It's probably going to be that.
Oh, no.
And specifically this show, that feels a lot more likely because everyone is doomed.
Yeah, these dragons die.
There's nobody left.
Huh. It is all seeming really good right now, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if you're on Team Black, you're feeling really
feeling
good.
hype right now. And who knows? Maybe Damon gets word of the change in trajectory. Granted, Alfred Broom is supposed to be heading down to Harrenhal as of 2 episodes ago. Didn't arrive this week. Means he's probably going to arrive in the finale. Will he come bearing the news of the new Dragon Riders?
Yeah.
I expect he probably will, even though that doesn't make a lot of sense. He left before they got all that. But like we were like, how do you even deal with the dragons facing? How do you get someone to land? How does that conversation? We just start and they've landed.
I was like oh.
So that's what tells me sometimes they do take the easy way, and it makes me think perhaps Alfred Broom will just show up and be like, "Good news, my lord.
Raven.
We're
just
looking,
came.
we're looking good. We could probably win this thing." And maybe that sways Damon back, but I don't know, because the only reason he was out on his own is because Rhaenyra didn't stand a fucking chance without his getting an army.
That's true. Yeah.
Like now she does stand a chance even without his army. So I think there is something to the idea that perhaps now it was just Vagar and the Green's army versus Caraxes and his Riverlord army. And it's like, he's like, I can take those odds. I think is kind of how he looked at it. Like that's, I'll take that. 4 dragons or 5 dragons against Caraxes and an entire army does not feel so good. So like, I think if there's anything that sways him back to the black side, it's stone cold fucking logic.
Like fear. Yeah. He's like, well, I've lost. Like I am on the losing side now. And okay. Yeah. I hope Rhaenyra, like we said, like she kind of got that son, like getting him back by, that argument, but I feel like she
wants to finish the conversation ultimate, they had,
and
she wants the last word, and I want her to get it. But we'll next go to the Vale, where Rhaena watches as the young ones are carted off to be taken to Pentos, ready to leave with them, when she hears a rumbling. She heads to the cliffside where a dragon has burnt sheep to a crisp, hoping to find a connection, but there is not one yet.
I mean, I guess there's another one coming next episode. I mean, I guess because it just cuts away. We actually don't get that answer, right? Like,
no, that's it. That's all we get in the Vale.
Oh, damn! Wow. So okay. So I mean, next episode, assuming
we're pretty. If we don't, I'm like, what the fuck did we do this for? Is kind of how I'll feel about it. Like,
yeah, like obviously she's not gonna die. The dragon's not going to kill her, or
right.
Or
like we're getting to like, there's a couple things that like I appreciate about this show has been in many ways unpredictable. There's a lot of stuff I can pretty easily track.
Yeah.
We were on
Rhaena
focused
for
like
quite a while. Like
we've been with Rhaena at the Vale, one scene an episode.
Yeah.
She will probably get that fucking dragon. You know what I'm saying? We followed 2 common people in King's Landing. There are 2 dragons available, and we're trotting out 40 fucking people to try them out. I'm pretty sure I know who those dragons are going to go to, And it's not a matter of like, and I'm not saying that as a complaint. I'm saying that as like like I'm more excited by the way they do it, because the way they did it, I was still like, they might kill this motherfucker right now after building up that connection, like they might just go ahead and boom, psych, be hopeless, motherfucker, is kind of like how, so like the way they do it is compelling, but like there are things that are like, well, yeah, like that is how that was going to go.
Maybe,
and it's few and far in between, but there is stuff like that,
Rhaena could be another storyline where, quote unquote, nothing has happened, but that's kind of the point of Rhaenyra having to send her away and her kids away and everything.
Is that her side of the story would be boring?
Yeah, and she clearly has that spark. She wants to be in the fight, Rhaena, as like and it's clear, like at least now, it feels like that this is like a prerequisite for being a dragon rider. Ulf
Yeah.
kind of throws a wrench into it a little bit, but I think he still has that. You know, he still wants to. He's just not like as brave as the others, but like he still has that spark deep down in him. But
I'm excited to talk Ulf.
what the fuck is Ulf, dude? Yeah, I'll hold it. I guess I can't open it.
We'll get to
yet,
King's
but...
Landing next. We're in the company of the Grand Maester Orwell. Allison opines about her service and her having been sidelined and discarded, as many women are, and she cares not anymore, it would seem. She looks about and notes how dirty the castle is, and she leaves, her new scar bared, and asks her guard, Sir Rickard, to take her to the Kingswood. No escort, no handmaidens, just him. Let's ride. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
And in the courtyard, Aegon's buddies turned Kingsguard are about to turn Night's Watchmen, as they are blamed for having started the riot in the city an episode ago, drawing their swords. Who knew that inexperienced Kingsguardsmen might kill people?
Whoa, wait a minute. There's no real world tie there. No way.
No.
There's
no way. People who are just dumb and fearful and put in situations that are potentially dangerous, they might be quick to pull the trigger, figuratively, of course, the sword.
Yes, obviously. A weapon that can only kill really one at a time. You know, they don't have a weapon that can kill many, many, many people at a time.
I mean, at least the Kingsguardsmen get fired. And
sent to the wall. Yes, they're banished. Gone. Yes. Wow. No, that's okay. Yeah, very. I just
sometimes Westeros gets it right. But Larys and Ironrod. I love that this guy's name is Ironrod, by the way. They stand above discussing a potential whisper. Ironrod has heard word of sea smoke gaining a rider. I heard it from someone who heard it from someone who heard it from someone who heard it from someone.
This was the most like, okay, you're not pleading your case to Larys that way. You know, like you didn't make it sound good at all.
No,
but
you got to know when to fib, man.
Like, because he obviously has this feeling of like this. I have a weird feeling that this is right. You know, he's like, I feel like I should.
He believes in it. If he didn't believe in it, he wouldn't have reported it. You know, like, and that's the reason why Master of Whisperers, whenever they're asked, where did you hear this? They go, I have my sources. Nobody wants to hear that you heard it from someone who heard it from someone that heard it from someone that heard it from someone. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when you get into the specifics, I heard it from this guy who heard it from his cousin, who heard it from a fisherman, who heard it from this person. Like, no, nobody gives a shit. You know, you just go, I have my sources. And all of a sudden, but then, you know, with the Master of Whisperers, does that put a target on your back a little bit? Like, oh, you have your sources. What does that mean? How do you have sources that I don't know about? You know, perhaps honesty was the best course of action against Larys, but...
Is this somehow like a ploy to take down Larys? To be like, hey, you're the Master of Whispers, this is your trade, and you're not even taking in this massive, you know, like, critical, like, thing.
It could be, you know, starting next episode, Ironrod could be like, I tried to tell Larys, and he told me it wasn't important. You know, like, he could...
not from the start, but now using it.
Like now it could be a problem, you know? However, I don't think that's what it was going into it. I think it was genuinely that Larys is like, I think Ironrod is genuine in that he's like, this is your trade. You're better at this. I want to know what I should do. You know, like, is this information I should present to the king? Would you feel more comfortable presenting it? Because the reason he even runs it by him is because while he does think he should believe it, he's not confident enough in it to just hand it to the king, you know, and be like, so here's the deal. So I think it's just a little bit kind of a display of how difficult what Larys and Varys and Visaria do is.
I see.
You know, kind of being like, they don't just run with hunches, you know, like they know when they know, you
Their
know, and like
information is right. Yes, and it does come from the same kind of lineage, but it's children most of the time, actually, you know, like they're so
common folk, you know, like all like, so like it's cool to see that. I took it as that kind of putting on display how impressive what Massaria does later in this episode is.
Okay.
And how impressive Laris typically is. Just kind of knowing all these things. And Varys and Littlefinger in Game of Thrones. Like, this is Ironrod checking out one piece of information that actually is relatively well known.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not hidden. Like, Sea Smoke does have a writer. People all over Dragonstone and Driftmark know Sea Smoke has a writer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know who, but they know he does. And so, like, I think it's cool that, like, in King's Landing, that's kind of like, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You know, it might be. So I took it more as just being like, Laris and Massaria are good at this shit. You know?
The walls closed in on King's Landing. That's like and they get no information. They are like captive. I guess I forgot that they really closed everyone in. Like Aemon closed the gates, and like they are kind of I don't know what proxy that is, you know, I guess for many times in history, I guess that's happened. But like, yeah, they're being shut out. Even the guys at the very, very top that would have this information otherwise are not getting
Can't have that information. Yeah.
Dang.
But in the king's chambers, the Maester Orwell attempts to help Aegon walk. It is painful, near impossible. Tom Glencarney is really good at acting like he's suffering.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. Had to give him
the shaking and everything. Like, wow, you are good at that. That's that's not easy, man. Like,
he felt like an old man there. Like, I mean, and felt like the dude was just actually like the way he grabbed like specific parts of his body too, like whenever he was in pain. And
it's mind-blowing, man. I started actually last night. I fell asleep about halfway through. I need to finish the movie tonight. Shameful, I know. I don't like doing that, but I had to. I started a movie called Blowout, directed by Brian De Palma, starring John Travolta and Nancy Allen. John Travolta plays a sound guy for movies, you know, and the movie starts as like this slasher film.
Okay.
And then it pulls back and it shows us that it was a movie that he is doing the sound for.
Ooh, that's
but
cool.
the way that stops is it culminates with the slasher opening a shower curtain on a girl and ready to kill her, and she screams, and it is an awful scream. Like, not like complimentarily awful scream. Like, this girl doesn't know how to fake a scream is kind of how it came off.
Oh, okay.
You know, like not awful like blood curdling, awful like
okay.
You know, like one of those. And it makes you think. Like it just something that never really occurs to me because I don't work in this line or anything. Have you ever actually fucking screamed? You know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever actually wailed in pain? Like, I have, but like I can't fake that.
Yeah, it's only been in very, very extreme situations.
Pain. You know, like to just spur that on, to just be able to go, all right, you're in the worst pain you've ever felt in your life. Go, and it be believable.
That's true.
Is actually crazy. Like Tom Glencarney is incredibly talented.
Sadly, it was just too little to go with. Well, I mean, I felt like we were going to give him the credit he deserved for it. That's for sure. I had it in the box just to make sure I remembered it. But yeah, there's one kind of performance for, I mean, just screen time and the presence they had just the whole time. I don't. We'll get to him, but
we'll get to
yeah,
it.
no, this was insane. The dude was. I feel really, really bad, like scared for him as well. Like Laris is like pushing him to this extreme and wanting him to like get better because if he doesn't, like,
yeah, then Aemon's the fucking king. And nobody wants that. But yeah, I enjoyed this scene a great deal. There's an interesting. I like Laris's scenes with Aegon. I think that they are really, really indicative of the type of person Laris is. We already know he's a piece of shit, but I think this gives him an opportunity to be a little more vulnerable than he is with anybody else, and I appreciate him letting his guard down a bit. But yeah, knock at the door. There's a knock at the door as the king screams, and it is Laris. He says the maester really ought to not do that alone. You know? Come on, let's get you to bed, Aegon. Okay. And Aegon writhes and screams all the while, and Larys says that his improvement is promising.
Mm-hmm.
The work is hard, but he must work harder. He will learn. And Larys sees himself out and warns Orwyl that he should be more cautious. And Orwyl's like, yeah, he should be resting. He should be abed. I'm only pushing him because you said I should. And Larys says it will be a long time before he may rest again.
Am I missing something here? Like,
No, you're not.
Like, this confused the hell out of me. I don't know why. And
the thing that confuses me is I don't know why the Maester is abiding by the Master of Whisperers ruling. I don't think he should be. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. Now, I don't know why he would be. Perhaps blackmail. I don't know. But they would have made that clear, I think. So the thing for me that's funny is that Larys wants to appear as the saving grace of Aegon.
yeah.
Like, he's there for him in a way nobody else is. Like, oh, Maester Orwyl, you need to be careful. Stop doing that. You know, like...
Oh my God. I'm just dumb. Yeah, it's... So, Aegon, in Aegon's mind, it's just the Maester being the one putting him through all the torture.
And Larys being like, sir, stop that. You know, like, You know, and Larys still even so is like, it is important work, though. You know, like... It will be hard work, but you will learn, you know? Like, so he's kind of being this motivating force, inspiration almost, while Orwyl is just carrying out the physical therapy.
Dang. Yeah, he's just trying to get him on he's just trying to get on Aegon's best side that he can.
Yeah.
But the look down, right when Larys entered the room and then looked down, wasn't that a point of discussion before that, like, people will look at you differently? Like, they won't look at, like, they will stare. They will not look at you. And then Larys walks in the room, does that, like, instant. I don't know if that was intentional or if, like, it's, you know, if this is an act that he is, because he is putting on an act in this room, which is interesting to think about now. But, like, okay, I was trying to read that, like, Larys was trying to manipulate. Like, I don't know. I was like, what is his goal here?
I think it's just more. It's more on Aegon. Like, he just really wants to make sure Aegon knows that Larys is in his corner. He's here for him.
Yeah.
He wants, you know. And so, like, I love when Orwyl whispers to him. He's like, "I'm only pushing him because you told me to." You know. And maybe that's just the Maester's job. Maybe the Maester is just kind of subservient, like, whatever anybody thinks is best. Like, yep, maybe the Master of Whisperers does outrank Grand Maester. I can't imagine that's the case, but, you know, like,
yeah,
it is what it is.
Interesting dynamic here, but I feel like there is some sort of fear, or, like, maybe it is just a straight up, that's how it works. That's the hierarchy. But I feel like there is some, like, Larys has some capabilities.
Maybe it's just him being worried about knowing who Larys is and being like, yeah, I'd rather not be on your bad side, you know? Like, you are a terrible fucking person. You killed your family. And nobody really denies that. It's all just kind of known that he burnt down Harrenhal.
Yeah.
So.
Eesh. Yeah, I don't know. I hope. It feels like Larys is maybe going to be, like, I don't know, unraveled. Like, this will come undone, kind of like a Littlefinger. Maybe like
I think it will. I can't imagine anything working out for Larys, mostly because his aspirations aren't high enough. You know, at least, like, and that's what's funny is that, like, Littlefinger's shit was never going to work out because he wanted to be king, and it was obvious he was never going to be king. If Larys doesn't have any aspirations to climb the ladder higher, like, the place I see him wanting to get is Hand. You know? Like, he wants to be Hand of the King. And maybe he'll get there, but it won't last long. You know?
Kristen
like,
Cole dying. Who would
nice.
Aegon?
God.
Who would Aegon name hand.
Aegon
next.
would go with Larys.
Yeah, I think.
There's no doubt that Aegon would go with Larys as Hand of the King.
Especially now. I mean, with this scene, I think that's Larys's point. He's like, maybe now Larys is like, oh, if Kristen does not die, I will kill Kristen myself. Like I will make it happen. I will pull those strings. But I think he's gonna die anyways. I think that's I hope at least he's marching to his death.
Yeah,
but
I mean, God, if he died next episode, that'd be fucking awesome. But no, I don't think he will. I think we at least get one more season out of Kristen Cole.
It's always the people you don't want to live that end up living through.
They just keep on kicking. Yeah, but traveling through the Kingswood, Alicent happens upon their camp. The guard Sir Rickard asks when she will be ready to head home, and she's like, "I'm not sure that I ever will be."
Nope.
And Sir Rickard's like, "I didn't know that's what I was agreeing to when I came out into the woods. Not gonna lie,
we could have brought some."
I'd have brought a change of clothes, maybe some food, maybe a couple snacks. I could have brought some trail mix, something.
Nope.
But I love that this is just like what Kingsguard do. He's like, okay,
Fuck.
like I could spend the rest of my days in the Kingswood. Cool.
Just
sounds good to me.
I guess this might be better. I mean it. He isn't very prepared, but at least he's away from all the shit right now.
At peace, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I love these scenes for Alicent, man. I think Olivia Cook is so damn good. I love everything about this sequence. I love that she's wearing blue. She's no longer wearing green.
Oh. Oh shit! I didn't even. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay.
She's removed. She was getting sidelined, so she removed herself. She's like, fuck it then. It actually looks a lot more like a dress she wore in the first 4 episodes of the show when her and Rhaenyra were real close. So I think I think that's a specific detail that is definitely purposeful. And it is more of I will say, it's a tertiary color. It is kind of blue-green, but it could be depicting that evolution back, which I appreciate.
And then to white eventually, whenever everything is off. And I was honestly really scared for her. I thought that she was like gonna drown herself. Like I thought that she was like done here.
That's funny. I was hoping that she would like swim out far enough, and then like the boats carrying the bastards would cruise on by, and like she just hitch a ride to Dragonstone.
Oh, that would have been awesome. Yeah,
that'd have been nice. I was like, but I didn't know where she was. I was like, I doubt that's the Blackwater. It's but
beautiful.
Beautiful scene. God damn, was it gorgeous?
Hair just.
I love that shot when the hair seeps into the frame and. Like
this are real hair too, I guess. A lot of like the Targaryen. It looks nice, it's cool, but at the end of the day, they are wigs for most of them, if not all. But yeah, that's Olivia Cook's real hair there, and that's I don't know. It was a nice way to show it off, and very very beautiful shot was.
I love whenever the aerial shot of her idling, whenever the ripples all look like they're coming from her head, which is really cool.
Man, yeah, that visually we did this. It had its moments, I guess. This episode still, and this was just another one of those moments. But then the in betweens were okay. But this was a nice moment. I don't know, just out in nature. Even the walk, even the walk down to get to that little pond or water wherever they were.
Yeah, no, and that's why I'm like, there are a lot like this episode. I would say. Is better looking than the average episode of season 2. The whole sequence whenever Masari ascends Alan, and like we get that intercutting, like whenever he hands the scroll off, and like the sun's behind him and stuff like that. Beautiful sequence, like and it looks really good. But that concludes the story in King's Landing for now. We will come back, but we will head to Dragonstone in the meantime, where Rhaenyra stands face to face and dragon to dragon with Adam. He makes his intentions clear after a brief standoff and introductions. He wishes to serve his queen faithfully and learn the ways of the Dragon Riders. He kneels. She approaches him and Syrax follows, Sea Smoke and her screeching at one another, and Rhaenyra pressures Adam, but he insists. He is ready to serve. He appears humble and low-born, sure, but he is no stranger to service. He will serve. And he stands before her as she asks of his parentage. His mother was a shipwright, and his father is of no consequence.
Mm-hmm.
He is unaware of any Targaryen blood within him. And she tells him that he's done something she feared impossible, but she smiles. She is glad of it. They stand side by side, and she asks if he would take him to Dragonstone, and they agree. I love Emma Darcy. So Emma Darcy gets the performance.
Yeah.
Again.
And it's, I hope Adam is like genuine here, and that he is just like, I mean, this is a gift from the gods. How can I say no to this? You know, he's like, you have arrived. You're a, queenly in front of me. Holy shit, like, yes, I am. I will serve. It's what I do now. I just have a dragon.
Right.
There was this kind of like smile to him though, and I felt like Rhaenyra like saw it too. She even was like, "You knelt very fast. You're like you kneel quickly, or whatever." But she's kind of like, "Well, I must go with this." Like it's a dragon. We must take this, and so I hope there's. The only way I see this going bad for Team Black is that if there's internal conflict, like it doesn't seem that it can come from outside. Like from the outside, they're good. Like they're good on all fronts, it seems. But the internal conflict is what I'm feared.
I didn't get notes of mistrust from him in this scene. I think he's being very genuine. I think that this is the most he'll ever mean that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it will only get worse.
Okay.
I don't think he's already plotting. I don't think he's in a position to already be plotting. Like I think that he's just kind of like, I got a fucking dragon. My family fights for you. I'm down. Like let's roll. Now I'm important. Now I can be a part of the fight, and like now I can be somebody. I think he's more excited about that for now than he is concerned with what it could mean. And I think that what it could mean could result in him going further and further into his own world a little bit.
Because the father of no consequence, like Alan is, I guess, a Targaryen mother with Corlys, right? I guess that was, but now Adam.
That's they're being very unclear about that. I actually think this episode is doing a lot in the direction of you don't have to be Targaryen to ride a dragon. Because I don't believe Ulf anymore either, by the way. I don't believe Ulf's a Targaryen. Whenever they're like,
he doesn't.
That's why he's freaking out. Oh. Yeah, he's like, I'll die. I'm not going. Like, I'm not a Targaryen. I will die.
Oh shit! I was just like cowardice. Like, is the only like, oh my
god.
No,
and like that's the other thing is I can't blame him for it. Like, if he is just shy, nervous, humble. Yeah, no, he's not a Targaryen. He just hopped like Silverwing just accepts him as a rider.
Okay, but Adam saying like father of no consequence, like that's the only part that's a little weird. Like he says it in a way.
I think he's just not outing Corlys as his father. I think it's more that like.
So Adam and Alan, they're both Corlys's kids with different mothers now?
I'm pretty sure they are both Corlys's kids. I'm pretty sure they both have the same mother also. Now, maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe Alan is just they have the same mom, different dads. And if that is the case, I think they're doing even more in the direction of
you don't have to.
There doesn't have to be Targaryen. Like I thought Corlys's blood was enough.
That's what
like
I
being
thought.
of old Valyria.
Yeah.
Like,
but
it should be.
He says like my blood is obviously it's not coming from me. Like, doesn't Corlys say that? He's like
Yeah.
Like,
but I think that's just because of the dogma. I genuinely think that's just because of like what they believe. Like, it's just like only Targaryen dragon lords result, like, so your mom must have had Targaryen lineage, like, must have happened,
okay, that's right. Because
So,
then
like,
back at King's Landing, whenever Larys and Ironrod, man, what an awesome fucking name. But whenever they're debating on it, it's like, yeah, the pool is small. There's no way. Like, who could it be? Who could the Dragon Rider
Yeah.
be? It can only be a Targaryen, and it's just.
well, and I like that they're making it a status thing too, like, the reason the pool is small is because they don't believe like anyone besides dragon lords can ride them. They're like, so it's like one of 3 people, like that's legit what they think right now. They're like, it can only be a couple people. But I think obviously this episode proves that's not the case. I do believe Hugh. I think Hugh is definitely Targaryen descended. Did they make his hair lighter this week?
It felt
by the
like
way?
it. I didn't notice it before, and then this episode it was popping off, and
I was like, this man is a fucking Targaryen.
Yeah,
like that was.
Maybe it's just we just thought that he was a small folk revolution. We had no thought that he would be a dragon rider Targaryen.
Maybe.
But
I mean, we did bring it up. We have
Really?
been like, wouldn't it be cool if Hugh rode a fucking dragon and led the
No
people's
shit.
revolution? Like, yeah.
no shit. Okay. Wow. But
Yeah, so like,
his
but we
hair-
dismissed it. We didn't think it was a possibility. His hair was definitely lighter this week. They emphasized that this week.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm tripping, but I felt like it was. But regardless, like, Adam's parentage, I'm fairly certain, at least the way he looks at Corlys, if it's not his dad, he really wants him to be his dad. So I think the thing is that there's a certain pride thing also with Valerians, in that the Targaryens got their dragons. We are the sea. Like, we dominate the sea. That is what we do. I have a feeling anyone descended from old Valyria can connect with a dragon.
It feels like the Valyrians come before the Target. Like, they're like the
Valyria was a whole fucking Valeria. Yeah, like, I mean, I don't know.
But, yeah, I mean, it could just be anybody, and it could just be the straight up dogma that was set forth, and again, it could just be all they need to protect this Targaryen line, so that Jon and Dany are born to carry out the events of Ice and Fire, blah blah blah. But
and that's why I think Adam is Corlys's more than anything, is because he's the only one that has specifically been sought out. Like, Seasmoke found him.
That's true.
It wasn't like he just, like, he looked for him. So I think it's because he shares blood with Laenor. Like, I don't even think it matters beyond that. I think it's because he shares blood with Laenor that Seasmoke chose him. And I think that will become clear whenever his parentage is revealed as Corlys being his father. And then Rhaenyra will be like, oh,
well, that makes
cool.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I guess I won't open the Ulf bag. I guess we can get there. But
yeah.
But man, yeah, very interesting dynamic they're playing with here with the dragons. That's it can go so many different ways. But
it can. But Jace watches on as Rhaenyra flies side by side with Adam and heads inside the council, and Corlys is informed that it is one of his shipwrights who has claimed the dragon, and Lord Bartimos is a real fucking dick about it. This guy deserved so much worse than a slap across the face yesterday. Last week.
Yeah. Is homie like drunk? He's like drinking wine. I don't know if that's the idea, or like,
I don't know what the fuck his problem is.
Yeah.
I need this motherfucker gone.
It feels that like they're like Jace and them, I feel like will have this kind of echo chamber of like, yeah, no, we are right. We are like something. But Jace doesn't feel like he'll fall into this camp, I hope. But this guy,
I fear Jace is being driven into that camp.
That's
like, he feels like he's going that
outcasted.
direction.
He needs
something.
But this guy, like, this is why I fear for Adam as well, is that the own council is already against him. Like, he's low born. It's not there's no honor. Even Rhaenyra is like to Massaria, like there's no honor. Like it's and she has to be kind of reminded that it's like what the fuck, like it doesn't matter. Like your own family's
Right.
fighting against you and shit. So it feels good as the audience member of being like, yeah, this army of bastards. Like it's awesome. It feels so good, and it's this underdog story, but with all of the honor and code and shit that is in here, a lot of the people are dipping and are not behind it, which is
Well, and it's a lot of exceptionalism, like Rhaenyra realizes an army of bastards has worth because if they are descended from Targaryen kin, they are no different than her son. Like doesn't matter if they were born in the high halls,
yeah,
or if they were born in a castle, if they were born in a castle or in the streets of King's Landing. They, on paper, possess the same worth as her child. Like,
dang, yeah,
they must. There can't not be honor inherently because they are bastards, or else she would come off as a real piece of shit. Like,
oof. Wow. Yeah, that's Jace is really just become pretty devastating. Like his storyline now and like everything he's realizing. Yeah, it's like it's coming
I mean,
down
his scene
for
is
him.
oh god, it sucks, man. I mean, in a good way, but it sucks for him. But Corlys concludes that they must await the queen's word before passing judgment. However, she won't be attending today. We see her with Massaria instead. That's her counsel. And they discuss how Sea Smoke chose Adam.
Mm-hmm.
She concludes that he must have noble blood. The dragon sensed it. She must trust him. What choice does she have now? He has a dragon. And she heads over to her texts in search of more dragon blood. And Massaria giggles. And she apologizes, but she's like, you're better suited in the wood piles than in castles, your grace. I've known 80 of Targaryen bastards. There are plenty that came from the pleasure houses of King's Landing. And there may be more honor there. For her brothers have less honor than the shipwright who swore fealty immediately. They fight you, and they were raised in a castle, and they come from your house. They are Targaryen noble blood. And yes, lords have historic ties to your family, but times are changing, and they must change with them. And Rhaenyra concludes, well then, let us raise an army of bastards. Line of the episode, man. That's hard. That's
hard. We love the bastard in the Game of Thrones universe. It's a great story, and we're getting a whole lot of them now. We're getting all the underdogs coming together.
We did for a little bit.
Yeah, I guess
we got a couple left.
I'm really good. I'm feeling really, really good right now, and I'm forgetting
That's
that
frightening.
There's one more episode. Singular finale left after this, so
not good,
but at least right now, I can say hell yeah and be this army of bastards. But this also
doesn't look good.
Confiding in Massaria, I like it. They're a thing now.
Well,
it's nice, but it's gonna drive more and more divide between that.
I'm getting notes of what is that? Robb Stark and Talisa.
Fuck.
Yeah. Her noble counsel is going to be like, you put all your faith in lowborn bastards and whores and all this, and you won't listen to noblemen. And ultimately, I don't think Lord Bartimos is going to be an even bigger fucking problem than Alfred Broom.
This is maybe how Daemon comes back into the picture. A legitimate has an army, not. Yeah. Oh no, this is not.
Her council will prefer Daemon, no doubt.
The council that's Rhaenyra. I like Rhaenyra and Massaria being together, but it was instantly like, damn it, like she's not showing up to the council on like she says she will not be here. She is with Massaria instead.
Yeah, in her study. Like, that's all the counsel she needs, Like, in her head, she's like, these motherfuckers don't do shit for me. Every good step, any step in the right direction has been because Massaria did something.
Yeah.
Like,
she needed just to make an appearance here, though. Just go here.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Hear their words and then go get the real counsel.
Politicking was not wise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with that. But I can't blame her. I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't be going to see them either. Corliss, I think that's why she has Corliss. I think it's why she wanted Corliss. Was like, you deal with them. Kind of. It's.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, he gives the easy answer. Like, we'll just wait until we hear from the queen, and can't really do much more than that. Yeah, it was a lot of conflict is brewing. I guess there's a lot of internal conflict that could start, which is very, very scary. But
not good. But yeah, in a separate chamber, Adam is visited by Corliss, who looks upon him with new eyes. He grants him the leave he requests and gives him the closest Adam will probably ever receive to an "I'm proud of you," which is well done. And Corliss walks on out.
Not, hey, you're the first ever in literal history that we know of to claim a dragon, like just to wildly claim a dragon. I feel like it deserves more than a well done. But at least
and it speaks volumes too. Anyway, that he immediately goes from here to the docks and tells Alan. He's like, instead of spending time with the kid who does it, he goes to Alan and is like, your brother did it.
He literally speaks like more to Alan. Yeah, that's
yeah.
Man.
And that's what makes it unclear. Is there questions on Corliss's end about Adam's parentage? Like, does Corliss believe Adam is his? Because he treats Alan much differently, and it doesn't make a lot of sense why he would treat them differently. Like,
is the... Yeah, no, that's impossible. Yeah, like, the parentage here is, it's not clear. I don't know if they have the same mother. I don't know if they're both Corliss's kid. Like, it feels like they're both Corliss's kid. At least that's how
that's the way that's how Adam plays it. Yeah, he feels like he either wants Corliss to be his dad or knows Corliss is his dad. Or maybe it's just envy for his brother being the son of the Lord of Driftmark. Like, maybe there's something there, but the way Corliss talks, I mean, he does say, like, I don't... Maybe it does mean that they just have the same mother when he talks to Alan and is like, I didn't know much of your mother's heritage. Like, it must have come from your mother because I'm not Adam's dad.
That's what that's what it sounds like. It's like it can't come from me. It must have come from the... It sounds like they are different mothers. Adam and Alan, at least, is the impression, the immediate impression. That I
took it as different
same
fathers, same mother.
And
like,
that's the
Corliss
logic.
Is like, your mother must be the tie because he can fly a dragon. I'm not his dad. Like, I'm not his father. But if you guys have the same mother and he can fly a dragon, it must be from your mother. Like,
So it's, why would he want to admit, or like, kind of, he accepts that Alan is his kid, but not really Adam? Like, what's the...
My theory would be that he is not Adam's dad. And he is Alan's dad. Which is why...
Same mother. Fuck. And then
same
different.
mother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm on. Because
Gotcha.
This is... Okay.
No, it's very unclear. And that's purposeful, Like, I think they are trying to play with the muddied bloodlines and...
Sorry. Yeah, I am... I'm going back and forth on mother and father a lot here.
No, yeah. So my where I am at first, like, in my head, Adam and Alan have the same mother. Corliss is Alan's dad. Another man is Adam's. And the reason I feel like whenever he goes in there and says, well done, it's almost like an envy, like almost like a, I'd be a lot, like, not like I'd be better off, but like there's something to the idea that like I would like for my son to claim a dragon again. Like, you remind me of my son. My son did have a dragon, etc. You know, like maybe there's something there. But like, if that's not the case, it means that Laenor, like, Sea Smoke claiming Adam is not to do with Laenor, which is also very interesting. So like, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck is going on with Corlys's parentage to Adam. We know for sure he's Alan's dad.
Mm-hmm.
At least there's that.
It feels, that's concrete, at least. And I hope, I mean, it feels like it's going to be revealed next episode. Maybe it's I don't know, maybe it is a longer thing. I don't know. It feels that this will...
I just can't fathom why Corlys would not claim Adam, but seems comfortable claiming Alan.
Yeah.
You know? Granted, it didn't seem like Corlys was comfortable claiming Alan until he saved his life. You know, like, it is a different thing. But, like, it still doesn't... if it is revealed that Corlys is both of their dads, I'm going to feel really weird about that.
Yeah.
Just as far as the character Corlys is concerned, because it doesn't make any sense that he would treat one better than the other when he knows both of them on the same level.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
It's not just a lowborn thing. It's not just that,
No.
like, after Alan saves his life, he's like a new, a top crewmate so that he respects him more. And it's not just that. I mean, if they are both his blood, I feel like that doesn't matter. That's out of the picture anyways. So
right.
I hope it is just same mother, different father here.
Well, and I appreciate the way that he goes to, when he goes to Alan, he's like, yeah, I need you to transport fishing vessels to King's Landing carrying a message with trusted swords. Also, Sea Smoke was claimed by your brother. And Alan's like, Jesus, fuck, okay. And he tells him that he does not know much of their mother's heritage, but alludes that if he wants, he may be able to try if it's something in the blood. He doesn't say so much, but he's like, if it's something in the blood, like, and Alan takes his meaning, but he says that his brother always wanted for more, but he does not. He is of salt and sea. And that's the other thing too. Maybe it's just as simple as Corlys sees much more of himself in Alan than he does Adam. Like, it could be that simple. But like, I don't know. I wouldn't love that. But it is what it is. In Rhaenyra's study, Jace chides his mother's choice of letting lowborn folks on dragons. He fears that his position as a bastard was his only hope to be the heir, was having a dragon. If more bastards get dragons, what does that mean for him? And he confronts her about her choices. Did she even think about what it would mean for him to appear as obviously not born of a Targaryen and Valyrian? Did it not occur to you that I might favor Harwin Strong when you took him into your bed? And she tears up and approaches him. She puts her hands on his shoulders and says that she mislikes all of this, but she cannot refuse what the gods have laid before her. To Jace's chagrin, he storms off. Not good. Not good.
Yeah, I hope he's not cooking the wrong things in his head now.
The only thing, like, the good thing about Jace is that I'm never worried about mutiny. I am concerned about him flying off and trying to prove himself when he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
That's the concern, is that he's going to get himself killed, which is not good. But in the war room, Mysaria gives Alan a scroll and says that he must do whatever is necessary to see it delivered. He leaves dutifully and delivers the scroll to a gentleman taking to the sea. That gentleman arrives in King's Landing with fish. Hidden within the fish is the scroll, and they are delivered to their messenger in the city. The word is spread. Queen Rhaenyra seeks bastards born of Targaryen descent. Head to the shore this night. You may be raised up. Hugh is among them and discusses the possibility with his wife. He reveals to her that his mother, whom he was ashamed of, was the bastard aunt to Viserys and Daemon, making him the cousin to the former king and the now king consort.
Mm-hmm.
If he does this, she may never want for anything again. But she doesn't want to be a lady. She wants her husband. But he must do this. Did they confirm that their daughter died?
I think he said, like, we didn't see it. It was off screen.
Yeah.
But he says, like, I couldn't keep our daughter alive. Like,
yeah.
And they, like, that's this is the only part of Hugh that's like, oh man, like you have to kind of leave your wife here, you know, and like your daughter, you know, like it is, but it's more the situation that caused it, you know. But
and there's a chance that if his daughter was still alive, he might not take that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's
clear now. Like it was at least like daughter's dead. Like I have to do this. Sorry. Like it's my calling. Like and I love how just he like sat down. They were kind of holding hands, and then when it got to like but daughter's dead, like there was just some tension between them, and then it was like clear that it was I don't know. Do you think that like now he returns to her or tries to, or like they are kind of just going their
I don't
separate ways
think
now?
he would be able to until the war's
all
over.
done.
You know, I think it's like he's a dragon rider now, you know, like he's not sneaking back into the city. You know, like they're going to fight this war, see it to the end. Hopefully he reunites with his wife, you know, hopefully she doesn't starve.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big concern right now.
Eesh. Yeah, I guess he was like ready, like he was giving everything up. I feel like this is like you have to kind of just be ready to die. This is like a dragon knows if you're ready to die. I don't like it. It feels that was the constant in all
humble
of them.
Before the dragon.
Yes.
Like, you have the power to kill me. I do not intend to conquer you. You know, like I am subservient. I'm submitting to you.
Yes.
You know.
Ooh, man. Yeah, no, Hugh got my character. If not, it would
that
be
would be
Oscar.
the other one.
Yes,
yeah,
but,
that would be the other one.
But damn, did they come in? We were always rooting for Hugh, I guess, before. So it's nice to finally get that.
Is.
But Kieran Bew, I think, if I said that right. But yeah, Hugh Targaryen. Can we say that? Can we? I don't know. What last name are we gonna put?
I don't know. I feel like for Hugh Stone, maybe.
I guess
there's,
or bastard.
There's
is
different
he a King's Landing.
Well, that's the thing, is that there are different bastards for different like regions. So like I don't know what a bastard born in King's Landing is. Like Riverlands, it's Alice Rivers. She's a bastard of the Riverlands. Jon Snow in the north. Sand in the south. I'm pretty sure Stone or Storm. Yeah, like Gendry Baratheon is Gendry Storm. I'm pretty sure.
Crownlands? Is it? Are we in the Crown?
That would be the Crownlands. Yeah,
because Gendry Waters, I guess, was his last name.
Waters. Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
That didn't ring a bell for me, but Waters. Huh. So Hugh Waters. I don't know. I guess it technically is.
Is there a certain name for Targaryen bastards? Because, like, I think in that example, did it say Gendry was Gendry, like, specifically Gendry, or that because he's from the Crownlands, it's Waters? Because I'm pretty sure because Gendry is born of Baratheon descent, he's Gendry Storm.
Oh.
From the Stormlands.
It says he did not receive either bastard surnames used in the Crownlands Waters or the Stormlands Storm because he was never properly openly acknowledged by Robert. But if he, I guess,
because Jon Snow was acknowledged by Ned, he became Jon Snow. I see. Okay.
Who you're recognized.
Alice is recognized as a strong bastard. She is Alice Rivers.
Wow. So
interesting.
Since Rhaenyra is recognizing Hugh as the bastard, he's Hugh Storm then, right? Because he's in Dragonstone
Is Dragonstone the Stormlands?
Or wait, is it?
I don't know. Or are they the Crownlands? Is it Hugh Waters?
Fuck, I have no idea what Dragonstone
Would Jace be Hugh? Would Jace be Jace Rivers? Or Jace Waters?
I don't have the answers for the
I don't
bastards
know.
here.
I don't know.
I feel like,
but
yeah, I don't know. Is Targaryen too much of a claim though? Can we not call him
yeah,
Targaryen? Maybe just
I'll
Hugh.
call him that.
The bronze, bronze Fury.
Yeah.
Fitting for a Smith, you know. This was
no, that makes
was nice,
that's perfect. That's perfect. But
mm-hmm.
In the bar, Ulf and his friends discuss the possibility. Ulf is shy and humble. He doesn't think he should because he's not a Targaryen, but they chance him on and shame him into agreeing. And they all head out to shore, board the boats, and head for Dragonstone, led by Alan, which is very cool. Alan was my other choice. He's very, very not a huge part, but every time I was like, I fuck with you, Alan, you know. But they arrive at Dragonstone where Rhaenyra attempts to greet them. However, her dragon keepers go on strike. This is an outrage. Darkland didn't work. None of these bastards will. It is an abomination. And they leave. Rhaenyra is forced to brush this off quickly and delivers a rousing speech to her bastard kin. They may not return to the life they left to take this chance, but it will be worth it. They may end this war. They may end the starvation and suffering that plagues their families and their home. All without bloodshed, if they can find those who will ride Vermithor and Silverwing. She invites them to follow her. They arrive in the dragon driveway, and she calls to Vermithor. She demands him to calm, and then to serve. She reaches out and touches his snout. That shot's obviously fucking awesome when she turns around and Vermithor is right there. Cold as fuck. Vermithor is fucking huge, by the way.
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. This was the scene.
I mean, they showed us that Sea Smoke had to climb up there.
Vermithor
is standing
he's
there.
like at a distance behind it too. Like, dude is fucking huge. I mean,
huge.
I guess the biggest after Vhagar, you know, and so
yeah.
And this bond that they had, like Rhaenyra, like felt it, you know, like this was, I don't know, like every time that we've seen Dany or just anyone else do it, it felt like it was just like, yeah, it's her dragon, the one she rides. So like it felt like that bond was there. But this was like the first kind of bond between a like it's not Rhaenyra's dragon. And it was cool to see.
She won't be riding it. Yeah.
I don't know, it was just really cool to see that dynamic there and Vermithor.
Yeah, I'm curious if like any dragon rider can bond with any dragon. Like if you already do ride a dragon, do the dragons know that? And they're like, oh, this motherfucker's down.
Yeah, is this like like a proxy test to be like, yes, I am confirmed dragon rider? You know, like
it's like a hand scanner on the snout. You know,
blood. Yeah, like
they're like, you're down. They
blood,
prick the finger or something.
Dragon rider. Fearless. Yep. You
you're in.
Me? Yeah,
you're in. But yeah, she goes up on the perch and watches the proceedings after she asks the bastards who would be the first among them. And a brave young gentleman steps forward, and she says that while she can say no more, the dragon will speak. Vermithor does not take kindly. He mows most of them down. They run, hide, scream, burn. Ulf is knocked off the platform. Hugh runs and hides. Ulf awakes after his descent and runs deeper into the caverns. Genius, Ulf. Good job. Hugh, all the while, does his best to protect a girl with him, which is very, very sweet after knowing his daughter's dead and he left his wife, and he's just a good fucking guy.
Yeah. Kill me instead. You know, he was accepting it right there. That was,
and I love the way that like he calms her down when they're sitting by the rock, and he's like, look at me, you know, like we're good. We got this, you know. Vermithor turns, they bolt, and Hugh stands before them, calls for the dragon's attention, and saves the life of the girl. And he says that he is ready.
Come on.
He screams at the dragon, come on! Really channeling his inner Tashi Duncan. And he is prepared to die.
Yeah.
Rhaenyra watches on above as Vermithor connects with Hugh. He has found his rider. This is my favorite scene.
I mean, come on. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
wow. This will be the memorable, I feel like, the penultimate moment. Like, this is Vermithor coming out.
I mean, a bastard standing before a dragon and screaming in his face.
I busted out the Jon Snow shirt again. Yeah, I had to.
Felt fitting.
It was, oh my God. Was this the most just as a Thrones fan, you gotta feel good. Like, how are
Yeah,
you
you do.
disappointed? Like, that's why I'm like, how are you disappointed with this season? Like, it's like as far as just the storyline and how good I'm feeling. I feel like I'm about to be shattered, but that's okay. That's Thrones fashion.
That's all right. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's okay.
but Vermithor, damn, yeah,
Vermithor. Yeah, love Vermithor. Ready for this dragon. But deep in the caverns of the dragon driveway, Ulf stumbles upon dragon dung and eggs. He steps on a large shell containing eggs, and it awakens Silverwing. She nudges him with her snout. He stands again after getting knocked down, and she does it again. He accepts his fate. Lying down, he's ready to die. But Silverwing does nothing.
the most pathetic like dragon bond of all time here.
Silverwing was dead ass. Like, I haven't seen a human in so long. You'll do.
Yeah, and like you meet every requirement, I guess. You were ready to die just because you're so scared and fearful, but hey, good enough.
Hey, it is what it is.
I want to get out of this cave.
I love the cut here. We cut then to a council meeting in King's Landing. They discuss business as usual. The Hightower army is facing difficulties fighting a war on two fronts, and that's when they hear commotion outside. Dragon, dragon, take cover! We then see Ulf riding Silverwing around King's Landing. Now, I was like, this fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I thought that he just went ahead, rode Silverwing out there. I don't think he was supposed to. Maybe he was supposed to go to King's Landing. Maybe Rhaenyra was like, let him know. You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's the message after this. You know, like, I think it was intentional. But I thought this dumbass just rode Silverwing out of there, went to King's Landing. I thought for sure he was going to catch a fucking scorpion to the chest and just fuck it all up. But no, this was actually a very exciting ending. This rouses Aemond. He rides for Vhagar, but he is too late. By the time he mounts and rides Vhagar halfway across the Blackwater, he spots 4 dragons flying above Dragonstone. He cannot win this battle head on, and for the first time, he turns tail.
Yeah.
Rhaenyra watches on triumphant. She has her squad.
Whoa. And Vhagar still wanted it. That
Vhagar wanted the smoke. Vhagar was fucking ready.
which is nuts. But yeah, what a bad, like, I think it was just fly by the tower, give him a flyby, get
Let him know.
Vhagar to come and check out Dragonstone so we could show him we got 4 fucking dragons now. And
that's the thing, is that they have Rhaenyra, they have Jace, and they have Baela. And then on top of that now, they have Adam, Ulf, and Hugh. They have 6 dragons. And if Daemon comes back, they have 7. Aemond has him and Helena.
dang. Yeah, and has she ever ridden a dragon before?
Not on screen.
But she has a dragon.
She has a dragon, yeah.
Okay. So if need be, I guess. But and then did you count Rhaena in there? In the veil?
I did not yet,
So a
because we haven't.
other
Possible
one
8
as well.
Yeah,
Holy
so
shit.
we have as
Like-
little as 6, as many as 8, which is, yeah, like, you're fucked.
I wonder, like,
Aemon's feeling like a giant fucking idiot for killing Aegon and Sunfire.
that is a big. If that didn't happen, I mean, maybe they still stand somewhat of a chance, but even still, like,
And that's what's insane too, is that if they hadn't lost Lucerys and Rhaenys, they would have 10 fucking dragons potentially. Like, it wouldn't even be a fucking contest if Rhaena got her dragon, Daemon came back, and those 2 were still alive. Now, obviously, it's a lot of ifs, but
But wow, I mean, Team Black, it's not even close now. Like, the war it's on their side.
that's a bad sign.
What does this mean? What is this? What is happening immediately next episode?
That never means anything good. But I don't know. I'm excited to find out. I imagine we're getting a fight somewhere. I fear for Helena. I think Aemon's going to thrust her into the thick of it.
The northern troops.
They'll be coming down south. That's what makes me think Harrenhal. I think the battle at Harrenhal is very likely.
Okay. We got the River Lord's army all coming there. The North's coming there. Kristen is still heading to Harrenhal. That's his goal, right? Is to eventually end up there. So I guess we are having a lot of motion towards Harrenhal. And then who knows if some dragons fly over. I guess maybe they just hear word, hey, battle at Harrenhal, Daemon is alone with Caraxes. We need more dragons sent out. But I forgot about the North forces. They definitely have to somehow come into the fold. I don't think that they're just mentioned earlier on the season and they never come back up. So I just hope Daemon is the wild card here, which is just really, really sad, is that he's not. I want him to come and just be like, yeah, no, here's my dragon. I will serve. I don't want anything anymore, but it's not. I don't feel like that's likely to happen with him.
I fear not.
Yeah, it's not looking good for the finale. It's looking good right now at the end of the penultimate, but very start of next episode, something the tide has to change somehow. But
yeah, it doesn't. I mean, like, it looks good, which means it doesn't look good. But I'm going to do the plugs real quick, then we can rate this episode and sign off. If you would, head to patreon.com/PennyBloomPod, where you'll find over 50 hours of exclusive content, all sorts of book reviews, comic book reviews, movie reviews, and Penny Bloom Dispatch. That's only exclusive to Patreon for another couple weeks, which is very exciting. You can head over there, and I'm working this out on the air, by the way, Joe. This is the first time you'll hear this, but I had ideas for the dispatch. The official release date for Penguin was announced. It's September 19th. It will be deep into September. So, in a couple weeks, fresh off the conclusion of House of the Dragon, we will begin Penny Bloom Dispatch on Penny Bloom Podcast. The week after. And a couple weeks after. We will do that up until the Penguin releases. Penny Bloom Dispatch will go back to being Patreon exclusive for the run of that show. In between, we will bring Penny Bloom Dispatch back, and we'll keep, in between things, Penny Bloom Dispatch will come about. But if we're covering a show, we'll cover a show. So that's the plan, at least in my head, if you're down.
This sounds good.
But for now, we have 2 more episodes of Penny Bloom Dispatch that will be Patreon exclusive, or 2 weeks. Might be 1 episode, hopefully 2. But that's patreon.com/PennyBloomPod. If you would, head to Twitter, follow at PennyBloomPod, follow me at Koro_Bloom. You can keep up with anything we might be doing there. We've got Cinema Surprise on the docket right now. Last week was La Chimera, and this week brings us the likes of... What is this week?
Of Joan.
The Passion of Joan of Arc. Yes, lovely, lovely. This Wednesday we continue Fulcrum, a Star Wars podcast, with episodes 3 and 4 of Star Wars Rebels. Got a lot of great stuff on the horizon. And next week we will be back, obviously, to do the finale of House of the Dragon. But, so in the meantime, let's rate this thing. How are we feeling on a scale of 1 to 10, enjoyment-wise for this one?
This one's it's up there. It's a penultimate. I don't know if I'm quite at a 10 is the only thing. I feel like I would have known, and there is some hesitation there. But I
have plenty of hesitation. I'm 9.25, maybe.
That was the opener, the episode 1, Sun for Sun 9.25. The highest we given 9.75 for episode 2. I feel like we're not there. I think it is a 9.25, which is crazy for a penultimate. I don't know. It feels...
Yeah, no, it's... Well, and that's the thing, is that season 1 obviously had a really good penultimate episode, but it wasn't... They're not placing the same emphasis on penultimate episodes in this so far as they did in Game of Thrones. They're still big things, but that's the thing, is that the show is full of big things. So it's it's different. It's a different structure than Thrones.
And next episode would have been the penultimate episode and not the finale last season, so that is
not even.
Oh, that's right. One more. Fuck. Yeah, 10.
Yeah.
Holy, yeah. It's like it's a weird, I guess just a different structure to get used
entirely.
to. But
yeah.
But I don't know. I'm usually it's like a surefire 10 for the penultimate.
Right.
Now, I guess that's just Thrones, and that shouldn't have be like a factor in rating for House of the Dragon. But I think, I don't know, a 9.25 I feel like is is where I feel like I can put it at the same level as the episode 1. Like the big things that happened.
I think so too.
Hugh in Vermithor was pretty sick.
Cool as fuck.
Damon getting sunned. Come on.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice.
So,
but
okay.
Yeah, and then critically, probably only a couple points under that. Maybe 8.5, 8.75. Solid, well written, well performed, solid looking. You know, this season has been a pretty steady level of above average and good, even, I would say. You know, like not great, not perfect, not it's not the best season of television ever, but it has been it's been very satisfying. So like, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I think an 8.5 there would average it out to an 8.75 even, and then if we do give it that little bump for an 8.75, it'd be an 8.92. I think the 8.75 average sounds a little nicer to me. Like that's overall where I feel like it shakes out, and the performances were great, and yeah, it was some shots that looked good, but it wasn't everything like episode 2. Like episode 2, it was clear that like they could do this. Like this is the potential they have. So, but yeah, I like an 8.75 there, I guess, for the penultimate. All
right.
We've only got one more. But
kick ass. One left, the finale, baby. And we will be back next week to cover the finale of Game of Thrones. House of the Dragon. Sorry.
Same universe. Same thing.
All of it's mixed up in my head. I've already signed off. I've already started doing the Indiana Jones podcast in my own head. But yeah, with that, we will conclude this episode of Fire and Bloom. Come back next week for the finale of Season 2 of House of the Dragon. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Well, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, peace, love, and bloom, and let us raise an army of bastards.